All right, here we go. We got a great content for you today, guys. Great show for you. Dr. Gabriel, Dr. AJ, Awaken Chiropractic, coming to you for our second podcast of the year. Doc, how you doing, brother? Tell me how your week's been.
I'm doing wonderful. This week's been a little cold, but pretty awesome. My Packers won this weekend. Took down the Cowboys. Was not expecting that, so I've just been kind of on cloud nine all week. It makes life a little bit more fun when your teams are winning.
Yeah, most Sundays, if the Packers are playing, I know what version of Dr. AJ I'm going to be getting on Monday. Sometimes he comes in, and you know the Packers are going to win. You're going to get the big smile. You're going to get a lot of energy. They play rough. I don't crack too many jokes in the morning. It takes you always get over it, but it takes a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta ease into the day, shake off the disappointment. But things are looking up. Made it much further than we expected. So it's all smiles from here on out. So.
You're a true fan, man. Mine, my week and weekend, man, I got to tell you some of the stuff. So we're celebrating Olans' 6th birthday. So we got pregnant right before, we found out we were pregnant like couple of months before we opened Awaken. So we moved to Omaha and we're getting ready to go talk to the community. And Maggie's like, I'm tired. I'm like, girl, we've been training to open up and serve these people. Get up, get going. We got work to do. She's like, I'm tired. She goes, gets checked. She's pregnant with Olin, right? So a lot of our practice members have been with us for 5, 6, 7 years, got to see Olin as a baby. And a lot of both of our kids, like Olin and Esme, who were in the practice a lot, they got to see him grow up through the practice. And we celebrated his 6th birthday. I remember being in adjusting room 2. He's laying on a pregnancy pillow, and I was just going room to room to room, back and forth. People would come in, hold him, and it was wonderful. And I loved having him in the practice. But we celebrated his 6th birthday last week. And Maggie sends me, she loves baking cakes and made this massive cake that has a volcano. She's like, hey, I want it to be able to smoke. I'm going to go get you, go get dry ice. I ordered it already. You just got to go to Hy-Vee, go get dry ice. And when you get there, though, I ordered it under Googly Bear. I'm like, Googly Bear? So I drive up to Hy-Vee. And I get out this middle-aged guy. I'm like, so I'm here for dry ice under Googly Bear. And he looks at me. He's like, hold on a second. Just dry ice. Just hold on a second. Comes back. He's like, I don't have a Googly Bear. I was like, she said Googly Bear. He comes back with 2 receipts. He's like, these are the only 2 I got left. It's like Maggie Long. I'm like, yeah, it's that one right there. So I've been challenged a little bit. But she's always messing with me, man. I don't know what's up with that. And
that's fantastic.
Yeah, and he was in the practice. Olin was in the practice yesterday because I get a call mid morning, and Olin is playing with his dinosaurs or doing something that running around, and tripped and smashed his face into his bed frame and knocked his first tooth out. So we brought him in to see if the dentist made sure everything was okay, but then also he wanted to talk to the dentist to see if it still counted for the tooth fairy. He said it did.
That's a viable, I get that. He was concerned about the tooth fairy. He needed to have that conversation, man to man. I get it.
Yeah, man. Well, let's bump this up. Let's talk about some of the new news in the practice.
New news.
What do you got for us this week, brother?
I just want to thank all the practice members for how just good of a job they've done getting here or communicating with us. It's one of those things, too, where when you guys use your Sched app and move things around, we see all of that. Dr. Gabriel's in the back office applauding you at the end of every shift when you move your appointment in your app and you don't just miss an appointment or anything like that. So it doesn't go unnoticed. We see all of it, and we know you guys work really hard to get here, and it's awesome.
Yeah. I remember when Sched first rolled out, it gives you so much control over such a busy life. We all have busy things that pop up and expectations we don't plan for. And being able to adapt to that easily, right? You go into your app, you move it. And the great thing is we see that. We get a printout of everybody who was scheduled every day and the people who didn't come. And it tells us if you used your Sched app and you moved it, we can make little notes so I can see who missed without communicating. I can see who called in. And an overwhelming high percentage of people using their Sched app, which is awesome. All right. Communication is key. And with us seeing that, we showed up we sure want you to show up too. And we're fully committed to you, right? Like, we're fully committed to every single person coming through these doors. And even if something pops up and you got to move your appointment, it tells us that you are committed, and it just helps us help you even better, right?
Couldn't agree more. And when we make these recommendations for certain care plans, we're very intentful with how we set things up and the progression of how we want your body to adapt and heal. And it's really important when you do have those busy times and you need to move things around. Sked makes that possible, makes it easy. And, we want to help, adapt to the things you have going on so we can help your body adapt to some of the extra stress. And we just try to make it as easy as possible to communicate. And you guys are doing a wonderful job. So we appreciate that.
Very, very good, man. Yeah, we have a rule. Don't cancel appointments, move appointments.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, things can pop up. You were once a week with us. It's intentful that you're once a week. Move it to next week. Snow's going to happen. Sometimes it's not safe to get here. Sometimes it's too chaotic at home. The kids are home from school, whatever it is. Double up the next week and keep moving. Time and repetition. Good, man. What else do you got for us today with our new news?
So we get a lot of questions from practice members about how, I can do this better. How should I kind of eat or drink or work, from a sense of like making my health better or taking it to the next level. So we just launched our Awaken Lifestyle page on our website, and it is going to basically lay out from a fundamental standpoint, if you're doing these basic things from a routine and a addition and a cutout standpoint, then we could help kind of decipher what's actually causing the problem. So many people try to change everything all at once, or change, the 10th thing on the list they should be worried about rather than the first couple. So that just kind of breaks down everything that kind of you and I do as far as routines and everything, and just kind of spells it out to make it a little bit easier to understand how to achieve some of our goals, because change is hard.
Very hard. Very hard. And I want to get into change, right? And we've touched on this a lot in our doctors' meetings, but a lot of people, especially this time of year, they're focused on change. A lot of people want it, or they think that they want change. And some people achieve that, and some people are successful, and some people aren't. And what's been the main thing that you've seen? Like, what's the biggest variable for the people who cause consistent change in their life, or true change, and the people who don't?
Probably just having a plan. Everyone just kind of wings it. Like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. If you're very intentful and you set up a process with it, and you don't try to do too much. Everybody tries to kind of completely do a 180 with their life in a 3-month window, and it's just not attainable. Then they get discouraged when they can't accomplish those goals. And they're like, why should I try in the first place? So you have to kind of set it up in a way where you're going to make yourself succeed, no matter how hard you try.
Yeah, I think proper leadership is what we're here for too, right? Proper leadership and mentorship is so crucial when you're navigating something you've never done before. I think people overestimate what they can do in a year and completely underestimate what they can do in 7 to 10 years. And knowing that it takes 7 years for your body to regenerate the majority of its cells, we have to be consistent with time and repetition over the course of time if we want to cause true change in our bodies.
Time and repetition. We say it all the time.
Yes, we do. With that lifestyle page, if you guys go to awakenomaha.com, you can click. There's a whole button there. It's going to have immediate implementation things. Like, if you're not doing this, do this now. And a lot of the times when you talk about people wanting to change everything early, that's where we start with them. Hey, these 10, and we're not overwhelming. It's 10 things. Start doing, stop doing, right? And then we can get into your daily habits. And most of the time, like, creating health in your body is about what you're not doing. Not putting the crap into your body is a huge one, right? But we have a daily process for like how to prepare your bodies in the morning to go through the stress of life, a weekly process to check in on your goals, a quarterly process to make sure that you're setting proper goals that help you be a better version of you. I think it's huge having a process.
It is, and it also kind of starts with the night routine and the morning routine. It's kind of getting yourself and your body in a position where you just have a plan. It's easy. It takes the decision making out of it. Like, we talk a lot about kind of like meal prepping on sacred Sundays and things like that. Because if you're living life one meal at a time, it adds stress, it adds indecision, it adds poor choices. And at the end of the day, it's more about what we choose not to eat than it is what we choose to eat. So it takes a lot of extra stress out of life when you have a plan and you have a routine. And yeah, there's holidays and things that throw that off, but you can't live like just by the seat of your pants all the time. It's going to be just tough on your health and tough on your stress capacity.
Yeah, when you have that system, it takes out that variable of, we talk about path of least resistance, right? Because we can be encouraged to do that, to do the most comfortable or the easiest thing next. And then when we're flying by the seat of our pants and there's not a plan, because of how busy we are and how crazy the world is, if we're not like intentful with that, we're going to default back to making the choice that's easiest. And typically that's not it is convenience. And it doesn't typically result in us moving towards our goals.
No, it usually regresses us back to, just whatever's easiest or quickest, or I don't have time for this. And it's usually not, given the society we have, it's not the best thing for our body or our health.
Yeah. So we've been working hard on this website page. A lot of it is out of so much feedback and questions that we've been getting. And we just realized there's not a whole lot of uniformity across healthcare providers, where we have consistent values and we can give feedback to practice members in a congruent way. What it typically is people who get a lot of feedback from one provider, and it's like, oh, this is the provider I see for my blood work, and this is the provider I see for nutrition, and this is the provider I see for my hormones, and this is the provider I see for exercise. And there's not like an all-encompassing aligned value thing that we have. And I do think that it's a disservice. So we put this thing together. If you have questions on how you can make your life better and your actions better, go into our website, read through it, ask for feedback at your adjustments, and we will sit down and we will discuss with you a specific plan or certain things that you can do to take the next step forward.
Right. Yeah, and it all comes from Sorry, Dr. Gabriel's fixing his microphone.
Yes, I am. I'm getting so much feedback over here, brother. I'm just going to roll with it.
You were sending it my way too. No, so over the last year on your reevaluation paperwork, those questions, basically, would you like more advice on any of these 6 categories? We basically compiled all of the wants and needs from you guys and basically worked on putting this together over the past year. And we're really excited to kind of roll it out to give you guys more options to just make your life better and less stressful.
And I want to put one thing in perspective before we close up here. All of these things are designed to lower the quantity of stress and improve your life, but stress does not cause disease. The inability to adapt to stress causes disease. Think about all the stress that we're going through on a daily basis, Doc. We got physical stress, big and small. Even if you're shoveling, right? You got gravity pushing down on you. Chemical stress. Food, air, water are just toxified, right? And then emotional stress, we go through all of it. You take all that stress, your nervous system's in the job of the nervous system to handle all of that. So it's either working at a higher state and it can handle all that stress and it's adapting, which we talked about at our last podcast about your reserve, or it can't. So if your nervous system's not working, it doesn't matter about your diet, your exercise, your hydration. Like that stuff's still important, but you're never going to get out of it what you could if your neurological reserve's working at a level that can handle and adapt to all of those changes that you're putting your body through. So we can't put the cart before the horse, right? Work on your nervous system, work on your adaptability, and then eat, sleep, move, drink, think well, better.
Agree more.
Good, brother. Anything big, any final thoughts as we're closing up on today?
To add on what you were just talking about that stress capacity, I tell people all the time, there will always be stress. I can clear out your neurological pathways, but I cannot take your stress away. The only thing we do as chiropractors is raise your body's ability and capacity to handle that stress and adapt to it and overcome it. So we can just live in a state of health and healing rather than breakdown and degeneration. And if we can just keep the body there, we can add years to life and life to years.
That's what we're here for. We love you guys. We will see you in the office this week, next week for your adjustments. If you have questions on anything we've talked about today, feel free to bring it up. Check out the website. Check out the lifestyle page. Nice coffee mug, homie. Got mine here too today.
Thanks to Miss Lisa for buying us coffee for this today. She was so kind.
Oh, Miss Lisa, thank you so much. We love you guys. Got the best practice member base in the world. We will see you next week.
Yes, sir.